Happy Monday, real estate agents. It's Marty Hampton on Restless Real Estate, sponsored by Coming Soon Homes Radio. Thank you for tuning in to podcast number 14 episode. It's another great spring day where I am, and I hope it's spring where you are as well. If you are ready to learn, I've got a great topic for you this morning. The topic is I've got 10 critical tips for ensuring that you have a Rockstar listing presentation. So before I dive in, I thought it'd be fun to give you a listing story that was actually memorable in my mind. Fairly early on in my career, I decided listings were the best way that I could provide for my family as a single parent mother of 3. So I said, this is the best thing I can do. This will stabilize my income more than anything else that I could do. So I focused on listings. And I finally got a chance to go into a neighborhood that I wanted a listing in. It was a high price range. I was so excited about that. I really wanted this neighborhood and this listing bad. So I finally got that appointment. I went in and I sat down with Mr. Dream Listing. And I was waxing eloquently, which I'll talk to you about in my 10 rules for listing. And Mr. Dream Listing just kept on putting restrictions on me. I think the first one was no sign. Well, I blew by that one. I accepted it, even though I know darn well it's not the right thing to do. And the next thing he said was even worse. I had to be there for every showing, and that was really bad. And then I don't remember what his third thing was. It may have been that he wanted to list way over what I thought was market value. But I know when I heard that third objection to my full hand of marketing, I put both of my hands under this huge listing presentation book that I had, and I snapped it closed, and I looked at him and I smiled and I said, thank you so much for the opportunity, but I'm not the right agent for you. And I walked out post haste. Now, I know that sounds really easy for you, and you probably do the same thing, but as a young single mother with 3 kids to provide for, it wasn't easy for me. So I give that to you as an example, but it wasn't all bad. I was a little sad, but I was a little bit smarter. Right now, I still got allergies, folks, so excuse my voice. But now if I were to sit down with my own agents and give them 10 specific tips to ensure that they have a Rockstar listing presentation, this is what I would tell them. Number 1 is I believe you have to have a single determined focus. So I'm not a big fan. As a matter of fact, I do not advocate for an agent to do both listing side and buy side, and I know some agents do. And occasionally, as a Rockstar listing agent, you might dabble on the buy side, but it would be ever so slightly, because most of the time you'd be giving up those buyers to your teammates. Because here's the principle: if you chase 2 rabbits, you're going to come home hungry. When you chase both buyers and sellers, you may win some on both sides, but you will never ever have the strength of a focused listing agent or a focused listing team. So number 1 point is to focus exclusively on listings. Number 2 is to learn to prospect for listings. You know, you have to go on many listing appointments year after year to become really good at this. Plus, the market really changes. The attitude of the public changes. What you need to do in a listing presentation, frankly, changes. So I could go on and on about this, but the truth is that you have to have more appointments than the ones that will call you for listings. So you got to get on the phone. You have to learn how to prospect for listings, and I can do a whole podcast on that, but I'm going to let that just be my number 2. Number 3, you got to pre-qualify over and over again. At your first contact, you should ask a list of pre-qualified questions, and you got to go very deep into your prospects' motivation and their process. And you got to ask really probing questions like, what process are you going to follow through? Are you going to interview agents? Are you going to do for sale by owner? When do you have to be there? There's many things. You have to go very deep in that pre-qualifying. Number 4, pre-sell yourself and or your team before you even get there and go in the door. You know, so many people make that appointment and then there's never any contact from them until they knock on the door. Well, I don't believe in that. You got to stay in front of those people. You send a pre-listing package. We send videos and we send brownies. You cannot pre-sell yourself and your team enough. You can't keep in front of them enough. So you've got to keep pre-selling that person till you get there. We also send each seller a link to our Coming Soon Homes listing and give them 3 reasons why Coming Soon Homes warms up the buyers for their entry to the market. Number 5, call to confirm the listing appointment. Excuse me. Call to confirm and ask if all decision makers are going to be there. And if it happens to you like it happens to me, oh, well, my husband couldn't be there, ask if you can reschedule. Don't go if all the decision makers are not going to be there. So if you agree, and ask a closing question during this time too. If all decision makers are going to be there, ask the question, if you agree with our marketing, you think we're the best team to handle your listings, are you ready to get started and begin with the listing? Always ask closing questions at your first contact and in every contact before you visit the home. So number 6 is arrive early, walk around the house, walk through the home without them if at all possible. Ask to do that. If they insist on showing you through the house, take notes, but say nothing. Take notes about what they're telling you about each room, how they painted that room and they finished that room themselves and all their neat little things. But folks, smile a lot, acknowledge them with great eye contact. But remember, the first one to speak loses in any negotiation. And you're there to negotiate the listing and walk out of the door with a signed listing contract. So the overall point is to speak less. Speak less. At the end, you could say something when you're going back down to the kitchen, hopefully to sit at the kitchen table. You could say, this is a great home. I'll get this home sold for you and closed on time for you to be in Cincinnati next month or whenever they're going to be there. Number 7, sit down at the kitchen table. Be on their side if possible, not the adversarial position across the table from them. Be on the same, have the decision maker to your right. Sit on that same side with him, and like y'all are attacking this market together, and have the second decision maker on the far right. So sit down at the kitchen tables, number 7. Number 8, go right back over everything in your pre-qualification conversation and motivation. Go deep. I'm telling you, you're going to find out different things by asking the same questions 3 times. So ask, what if the home does not sell by June when they need to be in Cincinnati? What's your backup plan? And you'll learn a lot just by asking those questions. Number 9, begin by closing. Begin your listing presentation by closing. Are you ready to get started selling your home right now? That's a close. And they're going to do one or 2 things. They're going to say yes and sign the paperwork, or they're going to say, well, what are you going to do for us? They say that a lot. So I'm going to give you a sample close, because I think your presentation has got to be in short bites. And most of your listing conversation, I'll tell you about that in number 10, but I'm going to give you a sample close. Mr. Seller, we're in the height of our marketing season right now. That means the next 6 weeks, I'll have more buyers call us than we will any other 6-week period for this entire year. So to get you and your family to Oklahoma by June 30th, I don't want you to miss a single day of our high season. So here's what I think we need to do. Even though we need to stage, we need to paint this room, we still need to build momentum. So we will promote your home on ComingSoonHomes.com, our national website, to let the buyers know that your home is a coming soon listing. And I know that this worked because we've used this promotion really thousands of times, and it never fails to bring us all the buyers, including multiple offers when possible. So let's plan on a coming soon presentation and for 10 days, and then we'll do an open house on the weekend of such and such. Will that work for you? That's a close. Number 10, your listing presentation should be a series of questions leading to the signing of the listing contract. Talk less. Remember, I said that before. Here's your bonus, is number 11. Get all the paperwork signed before you leave. Get the key and introduce your team member, your next team member that will be in touch with them. folks, don't leave that house without the listing paperwork signed. Don't DocuSign it. Don't do whatever you're normally doing, because you're going to lose about 1, 2 to 5% by doing it that way. So, to be a master at landing listings is not an easy feat. But with consistent, updated strategy, you can dominate any marketplace within 3 years if you have the courage to execute our comingsoonhomes.com strategy. But don't forget, if you're looking to continue building your skills and increasing your success in the real estate industry, be sure to subscribe. Stay up to date with each new Monday episode. I want you to win in real estate. I'd love to have your real estate question featured on our next podcast. So comment, reach out to us at info@comingsoonhomes.com. Let's connect. Have a great day. Take care. Happy listings.